Hello. So I've just created this like random little rough building here in Cold Harbour because people have been asking me to show how I built my wooden stairs in my Lucky Cat and in a couple of my other houses. Um, so I thought I'd make a quick video to show properly how I made them just because so many people have asked and it's just easier than explaining to every single person individually just to make a video. Excuse me. Um, so yeah, the first thing, I apologise for the roughness of this building. It's just a really quick sort of build of it. I'm sure yours will be much neater. So first of all, we need to get some rough platform stage. I'm just going to buy them from the Crown store because I'm on PTS. These are really great because they are very cheap. I think they're 100 gold each. From the general furnishing guy. So then you just need to place them on top of each other. The great thing about them is that they have a natural step so you can walk up them. They're a little bit buggy actually on PTS. I found on live they seem to be okay, but for some reason on PTS they're acting a bit odd and it can be hard to walk up them. I'm not quite sure why that is. So you're just going to build them the height you want. Like in Lucky Cat, I literally used just a couple of steps. In a house, I would go all the way to the second floor, which is what I'm showing here, but it's the same concept no matter what. Okay, so once I've got all of the platforms where I want them, I link them all together. I go up to the top. As you can see, it's a bit of a nightmare. I'm not able to walk up some of these, which is nothing you can't really do much about that on the PTS at the moment. I haven't actually checked since the update whether that's actually happening on live too. I have to double check that. So yeah, I think that just below the floor, which will give you enough space to be able to still walk up. And if you've got any extra areas, you can always add another stage, which I'm doing here. So once you've fiddled around with them a bit, I mean, as I said before, mine's a bit rough because I'm just doing this quickly to show you in the video. So you'll probably want to spend a lot longer than I am now, making it nice and neat and tidy and making sure it all lines up properly. So once you've got that, the next thing you're going to want to get hold of are some rough planks. The small planks, rough plank long. Again, they're 100 gold. And you can get them from the home furnishings vendor. So this is a very, very cheap set of stairs to build. So you want to turn the platform on its side and then try to line it up with the side of the stairs. So you're going to want to try and get it the same angle. They do go at the same angle, luckily, so that's quite nice. The annoying thing about these planks is they are kind of wonky though. I do wish they'd introduce some kind of... I've always wished that they would introduce some straight planks into the game, make life much easier. I do like the roughness of these ones for some things, but for other things they're really not very convenient. So yeah, you place it on either side. I'm not sure mine are really that straight. I'll straighten them out a little bit in a minute. But yeah, if I was making this for an actual house, I would be spending a lot longer on it. So you want the top of the plank to be over the floor at the top, so that it really blends in and there's not a gap. So I'm just going to shift these so that they're the right height. So once you've got them the right height and they're kind of overlapping a bit like that, that's how you want them to be. So you can actually add a second platform now along the side to cover up this sort of area. If you want to do that, you don't have to add a second one. It looks fine without, but it just neatens it up a bit if you want to hide that sort of side bit of all of the platforms. then you can add another one. You could even add a third one for a handrail if you wanted to, or add something different for a handrail. It doesn't have to be a plank. So yeah, you line this one up again as well and place it. And then we do the same on the other side. You can see I've actually sunk that other one in too much and the platforms are coming out of the side, so I'll have to sort that out in a second as well. Okay, so that's kind of the side part of the stairs done. Let me straighten it a bit. Okay, so the next thing you're going to want to do is get hold of some of these elsewhere pillars, rough wooden, and those are also 100 gold, and also from the home furnishing goods guy, one in elsewhere. So with that, we're going to actually create the top of the stairs up there, and it's also going to cover up the top of the plank. It kind of just makes it more seamless when they're kind of sunk into each other because there's just no gap. So obviously we're going to have to sort the height out. I have flipped these upside down by aligning them to the bottom of this floor, which I find to be a very nice quick way to just flip things upside down. You might notice in a lot of my builds, if you've seen anything half built, I have like random platform floating in the sky just to flip stuff 180 degrees very quickly. Very handy if you're doing that a lot. So I don't know if that's going to be the exact height yet. The height will depend on the last item I use, which is what I use for the railing. This one's not quite as cheap as the others. I mean, you don't need a railing, but if you do want a railing, is these Merkmeyer Marshwood platforms. Now these are quite long, so it's kind of a good idea to use them if like it's a really long area you're trying to put this in, or even if it's like a house, because you can sink it into the wall, you won't see it. If it's small like this, there are always ways you can cover it if it's going to be poking through the wall as well. There's lots you can do, so don't worry if the space is small, you can still use these. So I put the area with like the bit that really sticks up into the end bit, and I try to make sure that the horizontal bit at the bottom is lining up with the floor. So yeah, and as you can see, I'm going to have to raise these elsewhere pillars a little bit to hide that stick. Although I have actually placed lighting on these before to hide them and also to create nice light effect, so you can do that too. So yeah, it's quite obvious what I'm doing here. Probably if I was building this in an actual house, I would actually flip one of these so that it's the same side on both. But I'm not doing that now because this is just a quick video. Okay, then we've got to raise these elsewhere pillars up a little bit. Okay, so there we have it. We'll just have to move this in a bit. Okay, so there we have our stairs. I'll just show you, like, you can see it sticking out at the top, but like if you were to maybe have another building or something out here, then you wouldn't see that. That would be covered up. Just gonna stick this wall there now. So yeah, so you won't be able to see that. There was another building there. I've even incorporated the end of the ladder into the build before, like turned it into a hanger, or you could cover it with trees or rocks and make a cave there. You could cover it with absolutely anything. I mean, as I said, generally people are going to be building these in an area much bigger than this random little box that I've built. so you're probably not going to have to worry so much about huge bits sticking out. Even little bits sticking out, there's stuff you can do. So yeah, as I said, you can build this sort of staircase. It doesn't have to be central. A lot of the time when I build this, it's actually not central. A lot of the time I build it up against a wall, which actually saves you a couple of slots as well. I'm just going to link all of these together and move it just to show you how it would look if it was against a wall. So yeah, that's how it would look if you built it against the wall. Probably want to maybe put a plank against the wall as well, maybe as a handrail, as I said before. But yeah, it doesn't have to be dead center in the room. And it's just a nice way to make some wooden stairs, seeing as we don't actually have wooden stairs in the game. So I do hope that that was helpful to people that were wondering how that was done. I'm sorry again that it's very rough. I just wanted to show you quickly. I mean, if you were doing that yourself, it would obviously look a lot better, because you'd take a lot more time and put more effort into it. But yeah, that's how the stairs are built. So once again, I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you ever so much for watching. Goodbye.